coming out to our opening and for supporting GoggleWorks. Great thanks, obviously, to GoggleWorks and to its staff and board members for hosting us, especially Laura Lynn White, the gallery coordinator, and the chief spirit of the place, Mr. Gus Zogas, executive director, for her major contribution of loaned artworks, and together with the Chicago Surrealist Group and the Charles H. Kerr Publishing Company, a grant of significant material support. We thank Penelope Rosemont, who's in Chicago this evening and couldn't come here. Of course, we offer very appreciative thanks to the scores of artists who have sent their work for this event. Particular thanks are due to those who have come from afar to help hang the show. Natalia Fernandez Segarra of the Grinnell Foundation Museum in Spain, Janice Hathaway, teacher and artist in the southern U.S., Ron Sokolsky, British Columbia, was here and did great work. Great help in many things came from Karina Jablonski, Bill Kiesling, Kristen Kramer of GoggleWorks Publicity, Terry Hosey, Mark Westling, Marty Esworthy, all of central Pennsylvania, and others who I can't mention them all. A key figure in initiating this project was Grave Shuri, Poet Laureate of Berks County, to whom we actually owe special thanks. He introduced me to Kristen Egan, the former gallery coordinator here, who got me in touch with Diane LaBelle, the former executive director. She was the person who actually designed the renovation of these buildings to turn the factory into an art center. I think you'll understand if I name as the most important support and advisor in this project my wife, Cynthia. Her family's lore has her to be related to the Felsbergs of the city of Trier in Germany. But I think she is also a Rothschild because she has somehow managed to keep us from going broke with this project. At least I am standing here with a shirt still on my back. Since you may be curious about it, I want to briefly explain how this exhibition came to be, how this facility came to hold a show of over 200 Surrealist works from all over the world. I've been involved with Surrealism, the Chicago Surrealist group in particular, for over 30 years. I participated in the World Surrealist exhibition held in Chicago in 1976. In the early part of 2009, after a bout of respiratory illness lasting months, I decided it was time to get off my couch and try to do something big for the Surrealist movement in the area where I live. I had discovered the GoggleWorks because my daughter had been in a show here. I thought it would be an interesting experiment to hold the Surrealist show in a large new community art center. Poetry made by all has always been a Surrealist slogan. Why not read it with your community art group? I discussed the idea on the phone with Penelope Rosemont of the Chicago Surrealist group, an old friend and comrade. He was very enthusiastic, especially about the possible location in the city of Reading. As a lifelong student of labor history and author of many books on the subject, he was aware of the city's importance during the long years of the now waning industrial era. He saw Reading as a place where working men and women had fought to a modicum of economic and political success, building effective unions and helping elect progressive administrations, including one or two socialist parties. When I mentioned to him that there were other cities nearby for possible venues, he said, no, it must be ready. I'm sorry to relate that Penelope Rosemont died suddenly after our own conversation. It was during my visit to Chicago for his memorial service at the Newburgh Library that the plan for this exhibition was solidified. An exhibition now became one dedicated to the memory. At that time, I learned to my surprise and satisfaction that the Newburgh Library, where we had met the honor Franklin, happened to possess one of his collections, beyond the extent copy, there's almost two of my creation that we had already decided to talk about this. All the people we talked to were very enthusiastic. Those familiar with the new story of the Maya long-time calendar know that it portends or predicts not the end of the world, but the change to a new cycle of the cosmic process under the new sun, the sun. Also, we've included that idea in the title of our show. Cynics are quick to remark, we should be lucky, a new sun. But then again, things happening about us in this world seem to be rushing toward a major transformation of planetary conditions, which will require a new kind of consciousness. That anticipation is what unites the Surrealists of today with some of the myth-enchanted people of the past, people who remember the dream time and original humanity. Surrealism's aim is to bring back the dream time. Penelope Rosemont wrote in her book, Surrealist Experiences, surrealism is what happens when poetry and life dare to be one. Robert Greene, a longtime Chicago group member, wrote, when people break their chains, imagination will suggest what to do next. Spoke Leonora Carrington, one of the great Surrealist painters. Never doubt that dreams can change reality. In fact, they are the only thing that can. Finally, a European contemporary of the last classic, Maya, Paracelsus, wrote in his book, Hermetic Astronomy, one star of this above all the rest. This is the apocalyptic star. The second star is that of the ascendant. The third is that of the element. And these are four, so that 6 stars are established. Besides these, there is still another star. Imagination, which begets a new star and a new heaven. So I hope you will find in this art exhibition the wealth of imagination that continues to draw new poets, artists, social activists, and intellectuals to the Surrealist movement. At least it may help you to decide who to run. The ephemeral critics, or someone like Enrique de Santiago of Chile, who had this to say in his announcements of the big Surrealist events in Chile in 2009 and 2010. Surrealism, in all these 85 years, has never died, nor has aged, but unlike other groups, has manifested itself in every decade, in each place, with renewed vigor, with 5 generations that have maintained the lives, the flames of enlightenment from dreams. Thanks.
I've managed to...
Do as many as you want, because I don't always photograph well.
Okay, it's going to be video, so it's not...
Oh, video, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. That's okay. I got Joe Jablonski. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Joe Jablonski, however.
Okay, all right. You're the curator of this exhibit.
Yep.
Now, many of the artists are from different parts of the world. Is that correct?
Yes, they are.
And you went through a lot of trouble to get all these people, these disparate artists, to come together for this kind of show.
It was email after email, hours of sitting every day, every week for 2.5 years, contacting people, trying to get it organized. And at a certain point, we had to get into the preparation of works for the show, which meant taking things that were sent unframed and creating frames. That would account for maybe half of the pieces. And we could not use commercial framing shops.
Right.
Because it would have cost us tens of thousands. So what we used were the frames that we created, the frames that we could purchase at reduced prices, and poster frames, and some work. Fortunately, there are works that can be hung with pins and simple sticking objects, and some of the artists prefer their work not to be framed. So many of the paintings we have do not have frames because the artists stipulated no frames. So
well, I'm more or less interested in the historical context of the exhibit. Okay, so you have a lot of work. What's the timeline of all of these works? I mean,
I would say beginning in the most of the work comes from the 70s up through the 80s, 90s, and up until very recently. We have works that were created just last year or earlier this year.
Okay, all right.
We have things that were in the possession of Penelope Rosemont of Chicago that had been given to her by artists, significant Surrealist artists, over the years that she donated for the collection. These works are not available for sale and will be returned for her, to her, but these are...
So a lot of these are from her collection.
An important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but many things were created by artists who wanted to do something specifically for the show. A painting by John Wilson of Wales was done specifically with the theme of the fifth son.
Right.
And that is hanging here in the
I saw that. It's nice work.
And we have so many smaller works that we utilized exhibit spaces on the second and third floor in the halls.
Okay, so the exhibit extends into different parts of the building.
The exhibit extends into the second and third floor, and those spaces are always used for displaying artworks in this building. So it's not like we had to just go someplace where it was not for showing art.
Right.
But
it's all part of the exhibit,
we made a decision at some point that we didn't want to reject things that had been sent to us, especially if they had been sent from far away. So we had a fairly open invitation to Surrealist artists around the world.
So how many artists are in this show?
I can only approximate at this point because I've been so busy, I haven't been keeping the real counts. Let's say between 85 and 110. And as far as the number of works, there are 248.
248. Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you for giving me your time here. Thank you, Joe, very much.
Thank you for having me talk to you, and hope you can use some of my information.
I will indeed. Thank you so much.